Okay, so I'm finally going to do this video that I have been saying I've been going to do for so long. I've already done my first two, which are on my channel, which I would not even be able to tell you what it is because I barely use it. But I have gotten quite a few questions on Ask FM and on Tumblr that I'm going to have a go at answering. I'm not going to answer all of them. A lot of them are very specifically ED related and feature like questions about calories and numbers and weight and things like that. And I kind of have this problem just generally, and I think a lot of people do, but even though we have eating disorders, and even though the internet is like a great source of, you know, support and a great source of information, no one on the eating disorder kind of like in the community, not that I know of at least, forgive me if I'm incorrect, but we're not dietitians. And although we may have our own meal plan and we may have an understanding of calories that is far beyond the understanding of a normal healthy human being, we can't give you information about what you should be eating and how much you should be eating and how much exercise you should be doing and things like that, just because we're not qualified, and we could potentially be doing you more harm than good. So I'm going to not answer any of those questions, and I'm just going to put a blanket kind of answer out there and say, if you don't have a GP, you really need to go and see a GP. There are some amazing bulk billing ones that you can go to. You don't have to pay, and that's amazing because I know what it's like to be poor. And you can also get 6 free sessions with a dietitian. So if you don't have a dietitian, I would highly recommend going and getting a referral to see one, because realistically, if you have an eating disorder, you need a team, and because it's really hard to deal with on your own, and you need a team, and hopefully that team has a dietitian in it, because they're going to be the ones that can give you this information that like you're trying to get off of other people. And they're going to be able to tailor it to you and to your lifestyle. So it's going to be so much better and more personal than it's going to be if it's coming from me, like a random on the internet, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to answer any of those questions. Sorry, I know what it's like to want that kind of information, but I don't want to be potentially doing more harm than good. So yes, I haven't really planned any of this, so forgive me if I go on a little bit. So basically, I'll start off with this one. What's your skincare routine? I work in the cosmetics industry, but I don't use the brands that I sell, which is probably bad. But I found for me personally that my skin reacts better to brands that don't have a lot of chemicals in them and that are a lot more natural, and that's kind of just what I like to use on my skin anyway. So at the moment, my skincare routine, and I love skincare, so I use, which I haven't got with me for some reason, the Angels on Bare Skin cleanser by Lush. That's the vegan one. You get like a little pea-sized mat, you put in your hands and you put it with water, and it's really, really nice. It's got lavender and stuff in it, which is really good for toning away any redness and really good for sensitive skin and stuff. So I use that day and night, and then I follow it up with this, which is Grease Lightening by Lush as well, and that's a spot treatment. So I put it on areas that like I'm breaking out on, which I find with recovery and with refeeding, I tend to break out a lot, because it's like your body's going through puberty again, so it's releasing all those hormones and stuff, and you've got to get used to it. So for me, that means breaking out, and I really, really like this product to help with that. A lot of people say put toothpaste on your skin. Do not put toothpaste on your skin. It can actually the chemicals in it is really awful for your skin. I can't get the words out today, but it can actually the right word is not burn, but I'm going to say burn like your skin, and you can be left with like, it bleaches it, and you can be left with like bleaching scars, and that's not really what you want. So I would probably stay away from the toothpaste. And then I follow it up with Enzymion, which is another Lush facial moisturizer. It's vegan as well, and it's made from all like fresh natural ingredients, and it's just really gentle on the skin. It's not oily or anything. So that's my daily routine, and then it's twice a week usually, I'll use the Sukin Revitalizing Facial Scrub, which is, it's not like a super full-on exfoliator, but it's definitely more of a scrub than a cleanser, so I use that twice a week just to get that extra bit of cleaning happening. And I use face masks at least twice a week. Sukin and Lush are generally my go-tos, because they're really nice and self-care is really important. And in terms of foundation, which isn't skincare, I don't know really why I've got it here, but I'm a NARS Sheer Glue person. Yes, so that's that question. This one made me laugh. If it's not TMI, what's the longest you've ever been without going number 2? And then it's got the weird, creepy looking eyes. Okay, so in my at my worst, I was abusing laxatives, and that's not something I'm proud of, but it totally messed up my digestive system. So now I struggle a lot with constipation and a normal digestive system. So there you go. Don't get onto laxatives. They're absolutely pointless, and they just do more damage than anything else. So the longest I've gone, I think, is when because I rely like pretty heavily on things like Movicol and lactulose at the moment, which are laxatives, but it's not the awful like Senna ones that you get at the chemist and you take like a stupid silly person. So I rely on them, but when I went inpatient just recently, I didn't tell them, and I think it was like 2 weeks, and it was not fun, and I was in a lot of pain, and it took a lot of flooding myself of them flooding me with all different kinds of supplements to help you poo. So yeah, that was not good. Don't let yourself get to that. If you're having problems with it, talk to your GP about it. Everyone needs to poop. Okay, so someone's asked, which I think is a bit of a question, but what are your thoughts on Christy Swaddling? I think that's how you pronounce her name. The vegan Instagrammer. Do you think that she is recovering? No, I follow her because I think she seems, I don't know her personally, but she seems like a really, really lovely, beautiful girl. I don't think that I have the authority to say that anybody is recovering or not recovering, because I'm not them and I'm not on their treatment team. So whatever she's doing in terms of her eating disorder and recovery is not really my business. Like I said, I don't know her beyond what you guys see on Instagram and her photos and stuff, so I'm not going to comment on that. She seems lovely. That's all I got. Okay, for your vid, how do you expect yourself to separate your identity from your ED when your whole online presence revolves around it? Okay. A great deal of my online presence does revolve around my eating disorder and mental health. Having said that, your online presence is not who you are, so just because I post a lot about it online does not mean that that's like, that I don't have any kind of substance apart from that, if that makes sense. At the moment, like, I have to admit, I am really entrenched with the eating disorder, because I am struggling, and I'm not afraid to admit that, and that's why my online presence kind of at the moment is maybe more so to do with the ED than it has been, all of that jazz. But I have my recovery account for a reason, and that's for venting purposes and things. Same as my Tumblr, I do a lot of that kind of stuff, and my blog, which I don't vent on, but I kind of use as more of a mechanism to spread awareness of mental illness. It's the same as my Facebook page and my personal Instagram. Although I do post about my eating disorder and recovery, it's more for the purposes of spreading awareness. Basically, I do work with a organisation, like a youth mental health organisation, and our core goal and our aim is to spread awareness. So I don't feel like I'm oversharing when I post to the public about things, because I know I know myself how comforting it can be to see what other people are going through and to know that you're not alone in something and that there are avenues to get help. So that's kind of my goal. It's not me displaying my identity in any way. It's making a greater sense of awareness in the community. And yeah, I think people that know me personally know that that's something I'm really passionate about, and that it's not about like flaunting anything, because that's never ever something that I'm trying to do. I hope I answered that. I don't know if I did. Okay, is it weird that I want to become sick with ED to the point that I have to go to hospital? Like if I wasn't eating barely anything or drinking anything. Okay, so in the sense of like what it is to have an eating disorder and the way that your brain functions when you're heavily unwell, that didn't make sense, but yeah, I don't think that's weird. But it's weird in the sense of like health and normality. Like eating disorders are really, really competitive illnesses, and I've said that before, and it's awful. They're not going to be happy until you're like the least unwell that you possibly can be. So it totally makes sense that your eating disorder is making you want to get that unwell to the point that you have to be in hospital. But realistically, when you think about it with your wise mind, I can guarantee you that that's actually not what you want. I think particularly on Instagram, it is kind of glamorized a little bit, the whole like inpatient in your bio. I've been inpatient 27 times and I've had to end YouTube 5,000 times up both my nostrils. Like that is just a load of shit. I'm very passionate about that, and yeah, so no, I don't think it's weird, but it's not something that you would want if your wise mind was kind of more in control, if that makes sense. So do your best to get your wise mind more in control. I have no idea if I'm making any sense. And my tongue is bright pink because I've been having cordial all morning. Yum. Okay. I don't like that. There are some questions I'm just not answering because they're too just not appropriate. How far into your degree are you? I'm studying to become a registered clinical psychologist, so that's going to involve doing my master's in clinical psychology, so I do have quite a while left. At the moment I've got 5 units left until I can graduate from what I'm currently studying, and then I'll start another course and then another course, so that'll be fun. So I've still got at least 4 years. So yeah, that's all for what I want to do, and I know that that's what I want to do now, so I'm not too fussed about how long it's going to take. Was your ED caused by wanting to lose weight? If not, what triggered it? Now, I've done a lot of work with my psychologist about like causes of my eating disorder and things that are maintaining it and things like that, but I don't think there's ever like one cause of anyone's eating disorder. From my own research as well, there are a lot of biological and genetic components, things that make you kind of more susceptible to developing disordered eating behaviours. I know that in my family at least, there is a history of mental health problems, not necessarily eating disorders, but other things. And things in my personal life that may have contributed in terms of like just my personal experiences. I grew up dancing competitively, which is kind of like, I don't know, it's an interesting one. And yeah, just things that have happened. And then I'm like a typical type A personality. I'm an absolute perfectionist and things, and I've always had like struggled with like massive amounts of anxiety and things, and I think that eventually that just warped into it all combined, and it warped into some disordered eating behaviours, and then that's kind of been maintained because it's like a numbing thing, blah blah blah. Obviously the body image stuff is very much a part of it as well, but yeah, it's difficult to kind of pinpoint one thing, and I think that's true for everybody. So yes, this video is already 14 minutes and 35 seconds long, and I have no idea what I've spoken about, so I am going to leave it now. I'm not going to answer any more questions, even though I do have some, but but I'll probably do another video because I get bored and I have nothing to do and uni's not back yet, I'm not at work, so yeah, if you have any questions, just send them through my Ask or my Tumblr or Facebook, message me or whatever, and I will answer them in another video if you want me to, or if you don't want me to ever make a video again, that's cool too. I hope you all have a lovely day and that this made a little bit of sense to you, because I don't even remember what I've been saying. But yeah, have a beautiful day, and yes, be kind to yourselves because you deserve it.